everybody. Welcome to the Biokinetic K9 live today. Today we're talking about 3 tips on moving forward. And I'm hoping that I can help you with this. These were tips that I received not too long ago on something completely unrelated, but it applies here as well with your dog and with conditioning, fitness, sport training, you name it. And I think I'm sharing it because it's bound to help you, and they're really easy, but think about them and apply them. So before we get started, let me introduce myself. I'm Angela Hearn of the Biokinetic K9, and welcome. Thank you for joining. Let's get going. First of all, if you can hear me and see me, awesome. Give me a thumbs up and just say hello. But let's go and see, what are we talking about? When we're talking about moving forward, what does that mean? So what I'm talking about here, say now you are busy with your sport training, or you're busy with your fitness and conditioning training your dog, trying to learn something new, and you are stuck and you can't move forward. The path is no longer clear. Everything is hazy. What happens with me is that I just become, I don't know what to do. And so you become where you're stuck. You do nothing. You're not going forward because you don't know where to go, but you certainly are going backward, really, but you're just doing nothing. And that nothingness is really frustrating for me. I don't like that feeling at all. It happened with my dog. She had an injury and I was stuck. I didn't know what to do. We had to rest her. And then afterwards, what do I do? Stuck. I don't know my way forward. Back then, and I was thinking about these, and if I just applied these 3 things, that's what I did. I applied these 3 things in my problem before, and it helps me forward. It eases the mind in any case. So let's just have a see. And the first thing is, if you're watching, you can tell me where you're from, because I've met so many new and interesting people. But the first thing, where are we? Be grateful for painful lessons. This is really hard to swallow, actually. Grateful for painful lessons. I had that painful lesson with my dog. And looking back now, I really need to be grateful. She didn't have a permanent injury, thank goodness. But it was a lesson that brought me to where I am now with the Biokinetic K9. And I'm forever grateful for it, because it has brought me into people that I would have never have met. Bob, hi, you are one of those people. I've met such interesting people. I've met Bob, I've met Riani, I've met Angie, I've met Kim, I've met Debbie, I've met so many interesting and wonderful people, and they're awesome dogs, all from a painful lesson. At the time, it was really painful. But I've also met other people that are also stuck in that painful lesson. And let me tell you, the painful lessons don't go away, because along my journey, I had another dog that was injured, completely unrelated, not from sport, from slipping on the tiles, of all things. But my journey has almost prepared me for that event, because I knew exactly what to do. I knew how to handle it. I know how to progress my dog, and I am so grateful for that. So instead of a potential retirement, a lot of dogs have retired. My dog is continuing to improve. And I've seen people make so many mistakes with the same injury. I've also met a lot of people that, I've had to retire my first dog, and I don't want the same mistake to happen with my next dog. So these painful lessons at the time have brought you to a place where you can probably see a little better. I've also had this, it was a small conversation with somebody where just training their dog, and it was not a good training day. And you walk off the field and this person was almost defeated because it was like, ugh. But then when you sit down and you look back on just what happened 5 minutes ago and you look at the training, yes, the dog didn't do what the dog was supposed to do. It was a mess. But if you look at what the dog learned, but not what the dog only learned, what you learned about your dog's learning, that was invaluable. And for that person, he was like, he walked away and he was walking on air again. And he was grateful for that. The painful lesson was the not so good training on the day. But the big take out from that lesson was he learned more about his dog. And because he learned more about his dog and how to be and what his dog is watching on his body, etc., the next lesson was awesome. And you start to really value and appreciate your dog for what they're doing. And I get to see this more often than I think I get to see this more than most people because of the dogs that I'm working with. And many people don't see what I'm seeing in their dog. And their dogs are, oh my word, their dogs are just so fantastic. So fantastic. And if I can point out the wowness of their dog to them, then they also walk away with this big smile on their face. So I get to see what is a potential downer for a person, but if I get them to see what I'm seeing in their dog, they walk away much better. And that happens quite often, only because of my dog's really first injury back then, because I wouldn't have been on this journey. So to be grateful for those painful lessons. So even though right at that moment, that lesson or that misunderstanding or that you don't understand what's happening with your dog, just take a small breath and think about what you're seeing and maybe look at it from the dog. What did you do? How can you learn from your dog? Your dog's telling you something. What can you learn? And be grateful for what you are learning because your dog is speaking to you all the time. So, and this you can apply with, I think, most areas. So it can be even like a personal injury for you. What did you learn? There's always something more valuable that you get out of a situation more often than not. So what can you do from there? Well, those painful lessons, they taught me to be resourceful. Be resourceful. And when it comes to fitness and conditioning, if I go and look at the equipment and the exercises out there, for me, it's like, oh my word. I don't even know how I'm going to train my dog to do that because my sport training is enough and I don't know. But it also got me to be resourceful. And I know some wonderful people that have taken household objects and they're using it as equipment. And the equipment is really good. We show you these things on part of our training. And I show people in my club, just use these things as equipment. You don't need to buy a lot of expensive things. And even if you go onto the expensive equipment, you don't need it right now. You only need it way down the line when your dog becomes a real expert at doing what it needs to do. And many times, a lot of the equipment is used for particular recovery of various things where rehab specialists are trying to target something specific. But even then, if you've gone to a rehab and now you've got to do the exercise at home, be resourceful and ask them, what can you use? How can you use it? Because they are there to help you. So a painful lesson many times forces you to think a little bit outside the box. Like even in that non-successful, what you think to be training day, be resourceful. Look at what your dog's trying to teach you and how can you adjust in order so that you can help your dog's learning of a particular skill. So that's been really a big eye-opener for me, because if there's anything I've seen is that when it comes to training your dog is really resourceful on how it tries to learn something. So it's something that you can pick up from your dogs even. Be resourceful. Think a little bit out the box. And if you're not too sure about thinking out the box, blurt out. We always encourage questions. And sometimes the questions open up your mind and your eyes to other things as well. So it's not always just on you to come up with whatever idea and whatever piece of equipment. Have a group of people that understand and know what you're doing and that are with you on your path, and they can help you be resourceful with your dog. Be grateful for that lesson, and that lesson show you all new avenues. It happened with me with my dog. It showed me this avenue I never thought, and has helped me on various other avenues where I've learned so many awesome things and awesome people. So be resourceful. Don't be shy. Think about what you can do. And then once you're resourceful and you learning from your lessons, learn about what works. And what I'm talking about here, if something was boring for you or for your dog, think about why was it boring? What can you change? What can you be resourceful about? And then learn from what works with your dog. Don't just do because somebody said do it like this. Learn for what works with your dog. There's certain things that need to be done. So, for example, you need to have the dog needs to be able to hold a posture in a still position. There's a reason behind that. Ask questions. Why? Really? Ask questions. And if you understand the logic behind what you're doing in order to achieve something, everything falls into place. So learn from what works. Why we say a stillness works, it's because of a reason. Question things and make sure you get somebody that can actually answer your questions. Because if you understand what you're doing and why you are doing something, that understanding is more valuable than just the fact or just the knowledge. Because now with understanding, you can apply, and the value lies in the application. So if you can understand what you're doing now with this dog, and you can understand why you're doing something with this dog right now, every dog you have after that understanding is there, and you become resourceful when it comes to applying this understanding to each new individual. You know that old saying, train the dog in front of you. Each dog is different, and it is so true. But if you understand a concept, then you can address the dog in front of you. Because that dog in front of you, the angulation is going to be different. The temperament is going to be different. The ability is going to be different. Good, bad, better, worse. Doesn't matter. But if you have understanding of what you're doing and why you're doing it, then the application becomes so much easier. I know this because when I started training my dog and we started doing competition IGP, I was with people that they tried to train, and I never understood the logic behind it. And we struggled through. The dog really wasn't getting much anyway. And then we've been friends from 2012. He came down in the nationals, and Yuri Veth, he is my awesome mentor when it comes to IGP training. And he showed me and he gave me the understanding of why we're doing something in simple obedience training. And the pennies dropped. And that understanding has helped me and has helped so many other dogs. And that understanding has made me be resourceful and learn from what works with various dogs. And I've been able to apply it to lots of other dogs. And we're getting really good results. But it's that understanding that takes you further. So learn from what works and be resourceful in your understanding so that you can apply it to the various dogs that you encounter in your life. Because it's very rare that I know somebody that's going to have one dog. No, we're going to have a few. And we're going to enjoy them all for different reasons. So learn from what works. And when I say learn from what works, just like Yuri had the patience and time and was able to explain something in a way that I could understand, make sure that you find somebody, if you are doing any conditioning with your dog or training with your dog, make sure that you are learning from somebody that wants to answer your questions so that you can understand. They must make sure that you get clarity of what's going on. You need somebody that can give you that, because when you are clear, then you succeed. When you are clear on something, then you can go further. And it's that haze when something is not working. Exactly what this whole this post is all about. Moving forward. Only when you're clear on something can you move forward. And sometimes it takes a few days just for that penny, as it's dropping down, it's hitting sides before it gets to the bottom. But when it drops, it's there. So that clarity, find somebody that gives you that clarity on something. I was told actually by my husband, oh, Angela, you speak too much. But sometimes I need to make sure that that person understands what I'm saying. Because I can say something and you get this, but nothing's going in. And you realize that you only understand something if you can say it back to somebody else and they understand. Then that understanding has been complete. So learn from what works. If people have experienced something well, for example, there's a few trainers out there in IHP, in agility, and some are excellent and some training styles are brilliant, and we're not here to discuss styles, but they all have different people following them. And that is the whole point. Those different people, they don't follow the other people, they follow what works for them, because that person is explaining something in a way that is clear to them. So if something works, make sure that you understand why it's working. Understand how to apply it in a way that is clear to you. So learn from what works. There's no need for you to go out and reinvent the wheel. And those are the three things. Be grateful for that painful lesson. Learn from it. It happened. You survived. You come out okay. What can you take from it? And be grateful for it. Be resourceful about what you've learned. Be resourceful about how you can apply these things. Think a little bit outside the box. Make it bigger, make it better. Always. That's what humans do. We are out there. We do make things bigger and better all the time. And also learn from what works, from people that give you understanding, that not only just give you knowledge, because you can get knowledge anywhere. There's books, there's Google, you can get knowledge, but they give you understanding so that you can apply that knowledge. Learn from what works. And that's what I'm hoping that I can give through to people in my Canine Athlete Workshop. We've got a Canine Athlete Workshop coming up next week. It's a live workshop. And I'm really excited about it. There's going to be a lot of IGP people in there, and all, I would say 99% sport people. And what I want to impart on them is how your fitness and conditioning, how you can make your dog better through these things so that your sport can excel. And for me, like, that is the general norm. Even if you look at human athletes, that is the norm. And even if you watch the Olympics now, that is the norm. We know that all of these things work. But for me, why not everybody does it is because they don't know how it works. They know it works, but not how or why. What makes it? My dog trains so hard in case. Why will this make my dog better? Why is this training that is not sports training, why will it make my dog better? And that's what I would like to share with you guys in this workshop. And if you know these things, then you know how to prevent the injuries, and you know how to make your dog that little bit better. And that understanding is going to push you further to that next step so that you can then take better action for your dog. So I hope that you guys are excited about the workshop as I am. I know this is like exciting for me. So if you want to know more, just look in the comments. I'll put the link about it. It's just a quick page, but the workshop's going to be live. There's going to be loads of Q&A. I've seen some questions that people have asked me, and I've really tried to touch on each one in the workshop. But I'm super excited about this workshop. So it's going to be about 2 hours plus Q&A. It's going to be live. There's going to be 2 chances that you can join us. And then I'm going to take the information from both of those workshops and put them all together so that even if you can't be there on the day, you will have that recorded workshop and you can go through and work through everything and address everything. And you can ask me questions about it afterwards too. So I'm going to say good night or good morning. There's somebody it's 10 o'clock in the morning. So it's evening here. Good night. Have a really excellent day. And I am hoping to see most of you guys at the workshop. Have an awesome training. Our lockdown has come down to level 3 now. So we are back in training this weekend and I'm super excited about it. Have a very awesome weekend, guys. Let me get you all my details up here. If you have any questions, please, you can contact me at my email address. It's fit at the Biokinetic Canine. Let me put that up there. You're most welcome to contact me, and you can get me at thebiokineticcanine.com. The web address is there if you want to see anything further. So I hope this helped you. Just be grateful for the things that you learn, be resourceful about them, and get understanding from what you are learning. That's what's going to take you further, that understanding, not just knowledge, understanding of how you can apply it best for the dog that is there. And I'm hoping that I can help you through that so that you can excel with your dog. I've seen it happen. I really have. All right, everybody. Have a very awesome weekend. Let me take this down. Let me put up this. And there you go. I'm going to say, have a very great rest of the day. Bye-bye now.